Hey guys, we have a month of March to talk about. We have arrived yet again at another monthly overview in this video. We're going to be looking at the month of March from an energetic perspective, breaking the month down week by week, talking about the aspects and the transits that are coming to play each week and what this month as a whole is sort of doing for us on an energetic level. And as a result, perhaps what we may be able to anticipate and expect in our personal lives and playing out on a collective level world stage. All of that and more to come in this video, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Aubrey, and on this channel we narrate the shift of the ages. We talk about what's happening on an energetic level and the role that that is playing, not only in our day-to-day, everyday ongoing lives, but also how the changes happening now are actually functioning on a greater level to move us forward into this new Aquarian energy that will be defining the next 20 years as Pluto transits Aquarius and the next 2,000 years as the new Aquarian age anchors itself and begins to unfold in our reality. So that's what we're doing. Welcome to the party. Today we're talking about the month of March in its entirety. This whole month, to me, honestly, you guys, like, a lot of things are probably going to be up in the air. We are moving towards April, which is another one of the months this year that is a really big, epicenter or climax for some big activations that are going to be coming to fruition, especially as we get through the last week of this month of March. I feel like we're going to be able to feel it. There's probably going to be a palpable sense of anticipation. We're probably gonna know that something's coming. But I will tell you guys, this whole month of March and moving forth into April, and really, honestly, this whole year, it's marked by Uranus, okay? We're moving towards a Uranus-Jupiter conjunction in the sign of Taurus. Uranus is expect the unexpected. It's sudden change, and Jupiter expands things. So we have to be prepared for anything, okay, moving forward, and also, sort of have the understanding that there are going to be changes coming up. So there's going to be some type of big change. We're not going to go through a Uranus-Jupiter conjunction, especially in an earth sign like Taurus, representing, the status quo and the comfort zone and, everything being sort of stable and stuff. That's not going to pass without there being some type of disruption to those very things. And everything Taurian, this is food, this is resources. It has everything to do with money and economies and finances and projects and building and land. Okay, so we're moving into something over this next couple of months that is probably going to be very hard to call, very unpredictable, but it's gonna be monumental in the progress that it actually leads to. We have to keep in mind, as we are moving through this energy and moving towards this energy really in this month of March, that Uranus does bring sudden change, but it's for the purpose always of putting things right somehow. This energy makes the changes for us that we have not been able to make for ourselves, and it has a tendency of doing that through tower moments, okay? Lightning striking the tower, everything feeling like it's crumbling, but somehow we get a soft landing, or the way that the cards fall are exactly how they need to for some type of an awakening or some type of just progress that actually puts us back where we needed to be originally. So ultimately, you guys, the outcome of everything that we're moving towards is going to be positive. It's going to be beneficial. Jupiter brings success. It's the great benefic, right? And again, with the Uranian energy that we're moving towards, it's just some type of big change that will ultimately be for the best, but may be a bit unsettling as we're going through it, okay? This is what is characterizing the month of April. The reason why I'm saying that now is we are, getting into our analysis of the month of March is because obviously this is the month that is bridging us into that energy. We're going to start feeling it, like I said, especially as we get to the end of the month, and everything that is happening in the month of March, I do feel like it's sort of the prequel to it, you know what I mean? It's setting the stage, and we've got a lot of Uranian energy going on. Throughout the month of March, we've got personal planets squaring Uranus exactly. We start the month with Venus square Uranus, and that's telling, okay, things that happen, with the Venus-Uranus square, because Uranus is in Venus's sign, okay, this could give some type of indication or preliminary sense or something of perhaps what is to come with this big Uranus-Jupiter square that is happening in Taurus, right? Venus's sign. Moving through the month of March, the second week, we have a Mars-Uranus square. This is some big, dynamic, extremely like high speed, like action happening, driving change, energy, a rebellion, a revolution. This is an Aquarius and Taurus fixed signs. Breakthroughs could definitely be happening, but again, this is this energy that is just kind of throwing things up in the air, very impulsive, things sort of happening out of nowhere, highlighting again, you know, these first 2 weeks, especially Venus and Mars. What are Venus and Mars? Masculine and feminine. This is relationship dynamics, right? So relationships, partnerships, finances, and then like as we move through this month, we're going to have a new moon in Pisces that happens. There's going to be a lot of south node, north node activations going on. You know, and Venus is going to be aspecting the south node as well. We've been talking about the north node Aries, south node Libra polarity for a while now, since this past summer. And when that polarity is activating, it's causing us to release or detach our old connections or our old image or our old way of thinking about things and embrace sort of a leadership era in our own lives, like a more like independent quest moving forward to activate a higher level of destiny, or to, you know, seize the day in our experience somehow, like do something new, go in a new direction, go on a journey, like fulfill a mission that we're being called towards. Like there's some duty or like, yeah, mission or something that, you know, a lot of us are probably feeling quite compelled to move towards, and that is probably going to become undeniable and you know, something that we like can't resist almost as we move through this month. We've got, you know, we're gonna have a Mercury Chiron North Node conjunction as well as we move into the third week. And another dynamic of this energy, I feel like this is going to be a very spiritual month. Of course, we are moving into Pisces season. Mars will also enter the sign of Pisces. There's this spiritual warrior energy that is really being activated. And it's not even because Mars is entering Pisces. You know, that is one way that Mars and Pisces can play out. Although, honestly, like Mars and, you know, the sign of Pisces don't really necessarily get on that well together. It can really like lower energy levels, physical energy levels when we have Mars in the sign of Pisces. But the thing is, like, the emphasis, there's going to be Chiron North Node conjunctions. We're going to have, well, we have an ongoing Chiron North Node conjunction, right? But we're going to have Mercury transiting the sign of Aries, and then the Sun is also going to move into the sign of Aries, coming into alignment with Chiron, coming into alignment with the North Node, while we have this Piscean Martian energy going on, and like a bunch of other stuff as well that we'll talk about as we, you know, move through this report in some detail, but in a lot of detail as we get into the energy as it's happening in real time, you know, when I do the daily and weekly videos on the channel. But Chiron energy, okay, this is like wounded healer, teacher, master energy. This is spiritual warrior energy. Chiron was the teacher, like, of all the great warriors. Chiron trained the great heroes in the mythology, and Chiron in the sign of Aries is really quite a strong placement for, as I said, you know, this North Node Aries mission that we're on, like cultivating the inner warrior, like being our own knight in shining armor and stuff like that. And I do feel like there's going to be like a spiritual revolution almost, or like a spiritual awakening, or like a spiritual healing that's like helping us to release some things on like a deep soul level that could be, you know, derived from unhealed childhood wounding or childhood trauma and stuff like that that has been holding us back in some way. There is a huge spiritual influx coming through, especially, you know, as we move into the third week of the month of March, that honestly, I feel like it's going to be making an impact. I feel like it's going to be shifting our energy like in some way that causes us to like change what we're doing moving forward with all of this Mars Aquarius squaring Uranus energy, the squares that we had going on with the planet Uranus. There's definitely a building desire throughout the course of the month to really like change the way that we're doing things, change the way that we're interacting with people, like change the way that we're, you know, even expressing or presenting ourselves, what we're doing, you know, our behaviors, our actions. And that was also represented in the full moon energy, the full moon in Virgo that we're actually coming out of when we move towards this new moon in Pisces as we're starting this month of March. But, you know, overall, this month to me is looking like you know, starting off Venus square Uranus, that's our defining energy the first week that we're going to talk about. This is wanting something new, no longer being able to settle for anything that's not real or authentic or like stimulating us on those deeper levels. Week 2, this, oh God, like dynamism, all right? Mars squaring Uranus. You're gonna want to be very observant, very aware, you know, stay grounded to the best of your ability this second week, because this is just like fireworks, like sparking off, people having a very hard time containing themselves and just probably being very impulsive, you know, maybe a bit reckless. This can be accident prone energy as well. So we're gonna want to try our best to keep a handle on things, but this is going to be an extremely busy, maybe like chaotic, erratic week, most likely, as we're moving into the second week. And then as we move into the third week, this is when we have this Chiron, North Node, Mercury energy, and we have some trines going on to Neptune. There's just this big, I feel like, spiritual, like I said earlier, like influx that can be like, I don't know, healing, like these like waves of healing currents or frequencies or something that could be hitting on some levels that are helping us to finally release some things that probably have been holding us back for quite a while, maybe even if we hadn't been truly aware. The black moon is significant this month as well in the sign of Virgo, because we have this Pisces energy going on, and the black moon functions in polarities. So, you know, shadow side issues, gaining awareness, breaking cycles, overcoming, right, unhealed wounds, unhealed trauma, in a way that's rewiring our subconscious mind and helping us to, you know, heal, release, and future focus. That's the flip side of the way the energy is functioning this month. We're letting a lot of things go. There's definitely this karmic release, but when these planets hit Aries and start moving towards the North Node, there's this compulsion to move forward, this like very focused and like motivated and streamlined, fast-paced too, vision of the future that we want to move towards. There is a strong Neptunian influence this month as the planets come through the end of Pisces and hit Neptune, who is at 27 degrees. You know, people are probably going to be caught up in their own little world. And again, things may just be kind of like all over the place, like very hard to call perhaps how things are going to turn out. Like we may find ourselves with just like a bunch of things up in the air, like not really sure how any of them are going to land as we move through this month of March. But at the end of the day, you guys, at the end of the month, like I said, you know, we're going to feel, I feel like, spiritually cleansed or spiritually renewed, or like awake to something somehow that is shifting something within us, but also this growing sense perhaps of like anticipation or just knowing, or I feel it coming. You know what I mean? It's like that song, I feel it coming in the air tonight. That's the vibe that we've got going on as we're closing out the month of, what is this, the month of March, as it should be, considering we are moving towards April, which we've got this big eclipse coming up on the 8th, and then we've got in April the Uranus Jupiter conjunction, which, I mean, that's going to be the defining factor, the defining energy of the next couple of months. You're going to hear me talking about that. But it's going to be, you know, we're moving towards some big changes coming up in the month of April, and this month of March is how we're getting there. So all that being said, you guys, that's sort of like my, in a nutshell. Let's break down the weeks. Let's get back to my notes here. So as we begin the very first week of March, coming in March 1st, we come right into this month with a moon Uranus opposition as Venus is building into the square with Uranus. Like I said, the defining energy this first week, I feel like, is the Venus Uranus square, which is just likely to be causing disruptions in relationship patterns, in partnerships, things to do. We may just be changing our mind about something, like figuring out or feeling like certain things aren't suiting us anymore. Like, I just don't like it anymore. Like, I just don't want to do this anymore. Like, I just need to try something different. And when we have Venus and Uranus, you know, in an aspect to each other, but especially the square, it's like an irritation or a frustration if what we have, like, or, you know, it's Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, right? That's Venus's sign. So this is money, this is relationships, this is projects, this is material things, okay, this is food. Like if it's not real, if it's not what we really want, if it's not aligned with the new version of us that we're coming like to understand now, like our own personal upgrade, like if it's a reflection of what we used to like and who we used to be, but it's not, you know, in alignment with whatever we're becoming or whoever we're becoming now, there's like zero tolerance for it. And we're just ready to like change on a dime and break a commitment, you know. So that may be the type of thing that we just find happening in the energy as we are moving through the first week. The first week also, if you can, if it is possible for you to, you know, maybe just relax a little bit, try to be a little bit, you know, more low key, a little bit chill, that might benefit you, because as we move into the second week, you know, the 7th specifically through the 14th of March, this is like go, 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 go. This is like nonstop chaos. And if it's not chaos, it's just like so much going on, we can't catch our breath. The second week is probably going to be very, very busy. So this first week, we want to allow ourselves to chill out if possible, even though there could be some exciting, stimulating things going on, because we've got the Venus-Uranus square. Uranus stimulates everything. It's probably you might have some just like difficulty relaxing, sleeping, staying grounded. There could be a sense of just this anticipation or anxiety, nervous tension in the air as we move through this month of March, move through the spring generally. So, you know, if that's something that you're experiencing and it's not your native condition, you know, it's not something that you are accustomed to, it's probably honestly just you attuning to these Aquarian frequencies that are coming in and your spidey senses like perking up, because that's another facet of this energy. It's going to make all of us a lot more psychic, and not necessarily like psychic in the way of like you know, the water stuff, like emotional, like being able to feel like from a gut level, but this is like the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up. Like I can feel an electrically charged atmosphere. Like I feel the like energy of what has happened building around, or what is going to happen building around me. Okay, so it's, you know, just likely to have people having a hard time, you know, staying grounded, staying focused maybe on the task at hand as well, because this is a very future, again, like future focused energy, especially as we get into the third week and we have the Mercury North Node conjunction, and we're you know, dealing with also the spiritual Neptune energy coming in. We may really be like wanting to just like unleash, to just totally take off in a new direction, just really focusing on the new thing that we're moving towards, or on these new ideas that are coming to us, or on, you know, new things that we are like getting involved in or whatever. But it is going to benefit us to make sure that we are not getting ahead of ourselves as this energy comes to pass. Okay, so the first week, we have the Venus-Uranus energy going on. This is also upgrading us, right? Like I said, bringing new ideas. Things to do with cryptocurrency, you guys, I feel like are going to be growing more and more relevant from now through the rest of the spring, maybe even into the fall. There's just going to be an enhanced level of awareness and like energetic emphasis that is being placed on cryptocurrencies, generally on any type of digital currencies. And that's because this Uranian energy in the sign of Taurus is growing, is expanding. We're probably going to see huge, I would expect very big increases in the crypto market as we get into the month of April, because Uranus is new technology, right? Uranus is the future. Uranus is like the internet. Uranus is like digital stuff in the sign of Taurus. This is money, resources, assets, wealth, worth, value, potential, with Jupiter there expanding as all of this new energy, you know, comes in right now. I think that it will put a buzz in a big way around things having to do with, you know, strong Uranian energy and strong Taurian energy, which cryptocurrency would be a big one of those. So if you don't know anything about it, you're probably going to be hearing a lot about it. And if you do know a lot about it, you're probably going to be thinking a lot about it as we go through this next couple of months. So I wanted to be sure to mention that as well. The 3rd is a significant day. This is the day when we have the exact Venus-Uranus square. And we also have an interesting moon aspect going on that day. The moon in Sag will be squaring Mercury, Saturn, and the sun in Pisces. Something about truth versus an illusion, maybe a misconception that we've been under that we're figuring out now. But whatever, you know, we're coming to understand that maybe we had a false perception of, or we weren't seeing clearly before, this is likely to be very much coloring or playing into the changes that we are desiring to make now, the changing preferences, the changing desires, or deciding, you know, that we're done with something because it's no longer a reflection of that version of ourselves that is birthing now, that we're upgrading to, that we're becoming now. So, you know, the third, you know, that may be a day where you feel some things happening within you that are moving you in a certain direction somehow, or there could just be some, you know, shifting things going on, like in life generally. Things up in the air all week, though, maybe a sense of not being quite sure how things will go and what will happen. Like I've been saying, you know, about this month generally. Again, defining sort of maybe our experience as we are going through this first week, this week, and really all month. Be prepared to make adjustments. And as I said, you know, do what you can to slow down. If you don't have to be like all go all the time this week, maybe don't, because like I said, next week you may find yourself feeling a bit hyperstimulated, like maxed out. It is just probably going to be like one thing after another next week. No chill happening. March 7th through 14th, there are a series of stelliums that are being activated, and we're all going to be here for it. So let's move on now then, and let's talk about week 2. Lots of activity. Right now, we actually have a very interesting like way that everything is set up in the sky. All of the planets pretty much are within a couple of signs: Pisces, Aries, Aquarius really, as we start this month. Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. There's just stellium after stellium after stellium. So you should know, especially as we're moving through the second week and the stelliums and all of those signs begin to activate, you should know, it might benefit you to know where those signs are located in your own natal chart, because that is the area of life that is likely to be lit up for you. Wherever you have Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and Taurus, the moon is about to be transiting and hitting those stelliums over the course of this next week, and that is why it's probably just going to be like a very busy energy. And not only that, you know, as we get started, as we are entering the week right on the 8th, actually, this is the first day of the exact Mars-Uranus square, which is another energy that indicates just like super high speed, fast-paced things happening unexpectedly out of nowhere, sudden this, sudden that, change, shift, you know what I mean? Like, so like this is a very dynamic energy, and the fact that then the moon is hitting all of these stelliums following that, it's really adding to the erratic nature of the way that things might be going this week, and an inability perhaps for us to catch our breath. Just lots of activity, lots of things happening. Check where you have those signs in your chart. Those houses are the ones that are probably going to be very active for you this week. We start out with the fixed square, Mars in Aquarius, squaring Uranus and Taurus. It's restless, right? It's impulsive. It agitates change and rebels against restriction and stagnancy. Revolution and rebellion in various forms we're probably going to see as we start this second week for sure. The 8th, the 9th, and then we have the new moon in Pisces on the 10th. All of this bang energy, and this new moon in Pisces is bringing in this even greater focus on our like this future oriented nature, where we're moving, what we're doing, the task at hand, the mission before us, okay, the journey that we're undertaking. This leadership era, taking back personal power, is another way of describing what we're doing in this energy. And you know, it's likely to be just intense, okay? Even though Pluto is not directly involved this week, it's still probably going to be some intense energy. Like I said, maybe like hyper stimulating. So the goal this week, you guys, and you know, this is really something that I've been talking about since Pluto entered Aquarius in January, is to put ourselves in a position to be sort of like the catalyst of our own process of creative transformation and change right now, as opposed to maybe keeping ourselves in a situation where it's like do or die, and all of a sudden we have to choose between, you know, being in a circumstances that are never going to change, or like doing something drastic and sudden. That is also the way that this energy functions. Of course, you know, the lightning striking the tower, like we're free, but now we're free falling, you know. Or perhaps if it's within our own conscious ability, maybe we can decide that we're going to make some changes to our lives at this point in time in accordance with the changes that, you know we need to make, that we feel universe calling us towards, and act on that and maybe save ourselves, you know, a bit of the discomfort perhaps of the whole lightning tower experience. So, you know, we've got that. And even if we are doing our best, you know, to create some type of active change in our experience, it can still represent these tower moments. So don't feel bad about yourself if you have literally been working really hard to change in some type of a way, or to, you know, you've been awakening somehow and you just feel like yourself shifting, but you are also going through all those tower moments right now. This is just honestly like what is necessary in order to realign things collectively for all of us in such a way so that essentially, like, where things have been distorted or where things have gotten off track in alignment with the cosmic blueprint as it's unfolding right now, transitioning us into the age of Aquarius, wherever things are in such a way, like microcosm, macrocosm within each individual, that then extrapolates out to the greater whole and is blocking, you know, that individual from aligning with the necessary purpose that universe needs right now, so that we can actually make this shift of ages over time collectively happen, which is a process of shifting the frequency on the planet, which is a process of us anchoring these new frequencies through our ability to adjust, to adapt our energy bodies to the new frequencies coming in, which requires the changes that we're making, and probably the changes that we're making in our lives right now. Do you see how that works? How it sort of like trickles down? The changes, everything that's going on, the transformations we're undergoing right now, it's not for nothing. It's all part of a very like divinely aligned clock, okay, that's like unfolding right now. And we individually on the microcosm level are having to shift and adjust our personal frequencies as a reflection of the shifting frequencies representing the new Aquarian energy that is coming in right now, in order to, you know, as above so below, anchor and reflect the times to come. Okay, we are everything that we're going through right now collectively, the breakdowns that are happening, the death and rebirth experiences that are ongoing, are a part of it's like changing the present so that a certain future can come to pass. That is like, it's like we're realigning all the gears in order so that like the bigger picture comes into clarity and makes more sense. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes I have a hard time like describing the way that I feel like all of that, you know, works, because it's just so huge and so hard to wrap our head around and stuff like that. But I'm sure that you guys probably could explain it better than me. But anyways, like that's what this second week is looking like to me. We have energy that is hypercharging us, right? There is Mercury Neptune energy going on as well, though there could be a distortion in the informational field and the mental field. We could feel like our vision is clouded somehow. And this is also like people not paying attention. Again, this could be like a more accident prone energy. People are probably going to be like in their own little world, and you just want to be maybe hyper aware, if you can, not only of yourself, but of, you know, what's going on around you. There could be a level of over idealism or fantasizing, being unrealistic about stuff that is also maybe driving some of these reckless or impulsive actions going on. And be careful being overly impulsive about things that, you know, we're investing in or that you're committing to right now, because there is this Neptunian influence going on, you guys, with Mercury the mind. So some type of clouded vision, or just maybe something that is a bit too good to be true. We don't want to like throw caution to the wind and just like dive in head first and then realize, oh, that's actually not what I thought it was, and now I've like gone too far and I've got to go through like a bunch of stuff to, you know, put things right. I don't know, but we don't want to be acting prematurely, okay? Probably going to be doing unusual and out of the ordinary things the second week. It's probably not going to be like a week that just goes on like any other in our experience. hard to relax, ungrounded, right? Like I've been saying, and the strong future focus, drive to do something, to move forward, to get ahead somehow. High energy, but the strong Neptunian influence also. Pay attention. Be aware. Don't be reckless, and just know what's going on around you, okay? Moving into the third week, North Node, Mercury North Node activation with Chiron there as well. This is the destiny point. This is the messenger planet. There could be some really fated news, meetings, interactions, like even transactions or deals going on, choices or decisions. Mental and emotional breakthroughs, I do feel like this third week are kind of a big thing, and also these spiritual experiences. Like there could be some legit, undeniable spiritual experiences that people are having that are just like blowing open their entire paradigm of reality going on this week, and you know, changing things. And this concept of healing as well, letting go of some things, some childhood wounds even from the past that have been defining our lives maybe up until this point in time, our relationships, our behavior patterns, the way that we you know, the like even like our work and stuff like that, because of like our level of confidence and you know, our level of personal power that we carry ourselves with. Like there is something going on this week that is indicating some type of healing on a higher level, like in our higher chakras, like spiritual healing, soul healing, release of karmic wounds, like soul cleansing and purification, spiritual awakening, anything along those lines likely to be prominent this week. Very spiritually oriented days coming through. The 18th, the 29th, the 20th, our equinox this year, very spiritual energy going on. The 21st as well. Week 3 could represent just the soul healing on some level. Things are slowing down a bit as well. This is not the same energy that we had the second week. In fact, this third week, I think that we're going to actually be processing a lot of what went on that second week, and maybe coming to some conclusions or gaining some additional like feedback or information, or like something that happens as a result maybe of everything went on this past week, that are playing into this healing or this awareness or this like fated, destined, synchronistic like experience that we might be having. Powerful intuition, you know, these undeniable maybe like spiritual happenings, like I said, and it's Mercury in the North Node, you guys. This is just like being at the right place at the right time, and like overhearing something, or someone saying something to you, or meeting somebody, or you know, watching something, hearing something, learning something that in some way like re-empowers us, like gives us a sense of faith in ourselves, like helps us heal somehow. Chiron is also there as well. I mean, this could also be, you know, there could also be some serious like wounding going on right now, but even if it's not old traumas that we're releasing in this energy, even if it's like new wounds that are being activated right now, I'm telling you guys, like they're for a higher reason. Like any trauma that is being inflicted right now, it is definitely happening like for the purpose of your soul growth somehow. There is a very crucial lesson embedded in any wounding that is going on in the energy. Again, part of this spiritual awakening energy coming through this week that is happening to help you realize something, to help you actually heal something, to help you change in some type of a way that wouldn't have happened without the discomfort associated with whatever that wound or that painful experience is. So very Chiron oriented energy, wounding, healing, teaching, you know, self-mastery, ultimately the alchemist, you know, transmuting states of victimhood into self-mastery. All this stuff super, super, super relevant this third week in the context also of like what is meant to be, what needs to happen in order so that this progress can be made moving forward somehow. We're growing up a lot, actually, I feel like, as we move through this third week as well, maturing on some level. Not only do we have all this Chiron energy that is happening, North Node energy that is happening, but we also have a Venus-Saturn conjunction that is going on. Mars is also leaving the sign of Aquarius the third week, which is interesting to me. Like I sort of said in the beginning, we have this spiritual warrior energy going on, and with Mars leaving Aquarius as we go through this Mercury North Node Chiron conjunction, it feels like to me whatever is moving us on those deeper levels, or whatever we're awakening to, or whatever, you know, we're feeling called towards, or whatever's coming up, like it's likely to be motivating, you know, our actions, our behaviors moving forward into this last week. And then Venus and Saturn coming together, this is also an energy about wising up, taking things more seriously, like respecting ourselves more. This is like a personal maturation, like having a better idea of what we want, like refining our preferences, refining our values, like being a bit even more sophisticated, like maybe in our tastes and stuff like that. And you know, the way that it's fitting together, it just seems like something about whatever's happening this third week is solidifying us even more into the person that we're becoming, and helping us to move away from, to an even greater extent, who we've been in the past that is no longer defining the future that we are going into now. So I feel like the third week is like a monk week. You may find yourself in, like, again, coming out of this very busy and also Mars square Uranus energy the second week, we may really need to chill out, like, and kind of figure out what's happening. And again, we may not quite still know because of all of the like up in the air energy going on, but something is probably going to hit us on maybe like a spiritual level that helps us to kind of clarify things in some way, and, you know, decide what we're going to become and what we're not going to deal with anymore. Moving into the fourth week, this last week, this is when we have our full moon in Libra. We've got a lunar eclipse going on. This is a south node moon, you guys, in the sign of Libra. Venus ruling Libra, and the current position of the south node is also going to be in trine. Okay, this is this last week coming through with this March 24th, 25th full moon. Bye, Felicia. That's the energy of this full moon, okay? We've been talking about it for a while. It's been sort of coming into fruition since this past summer when the nodes entered Aries and Libra, but this is when, you know, we're done. We're ready to walk away. Like, there's likely to be the end of relationship situations, financial contracts, legal situations, like partnerships that maybe we've been involved in for a long time, like the way we presented ourselves, what we've been attracted to. There are faded endings in regards to like anything that's no longer suiting the person that we're becoming now. It's going to be a week of powerful release when we have this energy playing out. This is the final flush before some very big changes happen, unexpected shifts, right? As we move forward into the month of April after this, giving way to something completely new that is going to happen, something that we probably don't have a lot of experience with. We're likely to be feeling something coming. That's really the primary energy that we have going on the last week, is the full moon Libra eclipse. But we have these conjunctions setting up, and we're building towards them. Once we get to the 30th, we have 4 different conjunctions that are coming into play that we're going to be moving towards as we move into April. We have Jupiter within 3 degrees of Uranus. We have Venus coming into alignment with Neptune. We have Mars coming into a conjunction with Saturn. And we have the Sun coming into a conjunction with the North Node. And we have Mercury going retrograde on April 1st as well. So while the whole last week is really focused around, you know, the final flush, like I said, like what we're washing out, what we're cleaning out, what we're cleansing, what we're releasing, what we're, you know, moving away from, which also, you know, I do like the way that this activates following that week that is, like I said, sort of like this spiritual, like, cleansing. Okay, so it's like we're given the energy to like help us heal from maybe the things that were keeping us attached, or like had been preventing us from finally releasing whatever it is that we're probably going to finally be able to release with this full moon eclipse that is coming in moving through this last week. But it's like, that is like the whole tea of the last week. It's really about just this ability to finally move on from something, finally let something go, something truly running its course, like knowing that we've reached the end. But also don't forget, there's this massive future focus as well. The sun is building in a conjunction with the north node. That's like a compulsive pull towards the future, towards doing something new, towards what's coming up next. So endings and beginnings, defining the last week, and this sense, this building sense of anticipation, this feeling that something is coming. It's undeniable, and you know, we don't necessarily know what's gonna happen or how it's gonna go, can't put our finger on it, but like, I know that something big is about to happen, and something big is about to happen. It's just Uranus and Jupiter coming together, like, that doesn't happen very often. Those are both big outer slow moving planets. Jupiter takes 12 years to go through the zodiac, so it's only going to happen, you know, once every 12 years or so, a little over a decade. And, you know, so we don't have the opportunity to experience this a lot. And we got it coming up right now in the sign of Taurus, while we have Pluto also in the sign of Aquarius. Like, that's significant as well, because that's empowering the Aquarian archetype and the Uranian energy as well. And I'm not going to get into all that now. We've got lots of days to come to talk about it. By the time we get through the end of the spring, you guys are probably going to be so tired of hearing me talk about Uranus and Jupiter. But you're also going to be experts on what's going on out there, and you're going to be able to shed some light. You're going to be able to move through it with a lot more conscious awareness, okay? And that is actually going to help this. The more people can be consciously aware of, you know, what's going on, why it's happening, you know, the surface appearances versus what's really going on, the more beautifully we'll be able to move through this period of time, with less like freakouts and chaos and the sky is falling and all of that. Because, you know, Uranian energy, lightning hitting the tower energy, a lot of times, you know, the first appearance is not necessarily positive on its surface, and a lot of times it seems like the worst thing that could ever happen. It seems like the end of the end of the end, like, how could I ever go on? But I'm telling you guys, there's always a way, there's always a silver lining. It is always just exactly what needed to happen to the level of severity that needed to happen in order to create some type of impact that changes the whole game going forward in a productive, positive, necessary way that we would never go back from. It's not what we would have chosen. It's not how we would have chosen to do it if it was up to us. But once we've gone through the process, we get it. We understand. We see what's going on, and we're not, you know, we're grateful for the experience at the end of the day, because it puts us in a place where things are ultimately going to be much better. And to get back on track now, right now, after all of the years of the distortions that we've had going on, it's requiring a big adjustment. So that's what's pending. That's what I'm going to say, you guys. I'm going to grab us a synchronicity card now and ask God, Spirit, Universe if there is a particular piece of guidance or advice that we can focus on as we're going through this period of time, as we're moving towards April, as the month of March comes and goes, and we go through all the different phases of the energetic experience, moving us and preparing us for this new age coming up. And our card, our advice, our guidance for the month, it says forgive, which Chiron influence, okay? We've got a very strong North Node Chiron conjunction in the sky right now that is going to be, the Sun and Mercury are both going to be coming into alignment with. This is really going to be emphasizing this energy. One of the main functions, one of the main things that Chiron teaches us ultimately is forgiveness, and the power that forgiveness represents in terms of our ability to alchemize and transmute our lower states of victimhood into states of self-mastery that unlock the potential within us and help us to activate and achieve a higher destiny that we never would have been able to align with if we were still holding on to the pain, the trauma, the victimhood represented by the initial Chiron experience. Forgiveness, you guys, is really going to factor into a lot of what we have going on this month, especially that third week. That may be another outcome of this spiritual unusual influx of energy. You may find yourself spontaneously coming to a point where you're ready to forgive something, you're ready to let something go. Your perspective has shifted in such a way where you are now able to view, you know, perhaps where you felt victimized in the past, or where something negative happened to you in a way such that it was a catalyst to your own self-empowerment, to your own process of personal alchemization and self-mastery. And therefore, forgiveness can be an experience that we have spontaneously hit us because of shifts going on in relation to the way that we are interacting with our own experience, perhaps based on some knowledge, wisdom, or spiritual awareness that we gain. So anyways, I'm going to read this card. Forgiveness, it says, "Be not afraid for the pestilence that walketh in darkness," Psalms 91. You are in the dark when you indulge in depression, feeling sorry for yourself, anger, or ill will. When you condemn yourself or others, these are pestilences of the darkness. Anger towards others reflects your emotionally charged state. You violate the law of harmony and it will bring you trouble. Forgive yourself and others and hail God in your midst to heal your anger. Pray, "Thank you, God, for removing my anger." And like I said, you know, I think this is going to be something that we have an ability to work with on perhaps a greater than, you know, normal level, an ability maybe to embrace the spirit of forgiveness as we move through specifically the 3rd and 4th week of this month. So that's the guidance, you guys, coming into this month of March, this month that is bridging us into this big month of April that we are going to have coming up next. I hope you guys liked it. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you also think that they would enjoy this astrology content. Leave me comments. I'm super grateful for all of you. I appreciate your feedback. I really like knowing what's going on with you. If you're having experiences that match up with what I'm talking about in these videos, let me know in my comment section below. If you want to know what's on this whiteboard over here, I have a Facebook group that is linked in my description box below, where I post images of these whiteboards. And Jana Shellman, the creator of the synchronicity cards, she also posts the synchronicity cards in that group as well. So that's where you can find that stuff if you're interested. And come back with me next week, you guys. We're going to be getting right into this month of March. And of course, you know, we've got Venus, Uranus, and square to talk about. So I will be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you next time, everybody. Have a beautiful day, weekend, whenever you're watching this. And until next time, bye guys.